What's going on, guys? We are back here at Jinx Did Nothing Wrong, and it is time for the next level of reveals, my good friends. We're here, but we'll read the cards each one by one. Also, I don't care about the views, but if you did want to see what I thought about Jana, I'm so sorry. It was an issue with YouTube. I don't know what happened. It might have been my fault. You can check out the Jana video and see if you want to see my reaction to it. It is up on YouTube now. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. There's been a lot going on in the personal life, but outside of that, hopefully we can figure these cards out, and I'm interested to see what you guys think of it. Let's get to it. Also, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you like what's going on here. So we got Freyo cards, so I'm thinking Volibear, right? Volibear is on my mind. He's on my mind. Next up is going to be Sigil of the Storm. So Sigil of the Storm stack. Okay, we got a similar mechanic to Kegs and Coin. Titanic allies cost 1 less. Destroy me when you play a Titanic ally. Now, that's obviously a new keyword. I have no idea what the hell that is. I'm curious. Hopefully, you know, I don't know how many of them will actually they're gonna print in the game. Now, since it's thinking of Volley does grow bigger. Maybe that's his level up. When a Sigil of the Storm is broken, he levels up because he gets bigger, and he, like, right now he nullifies towers because he's so big and stuff like that. So maybe that's what's gonna happen. I'm not too sure, but this card also isn't main deckable, so stuff have to bring it out. And then the next thing I see is Valar's Prophet. When I'm summon a Sigil of the Storm. Boom. So we have ways to stack them up. I don't know if Talia's like, do you Talia? I wonder if it's a 1-for-1, because I think Talia makes an exact copy, right? So if these things are stacked just like coins, a 4-stack and a 4-stack, all of a sudden you have an 8-stack. So this one could be crazy, depending on how many the lowest mana. So if the lowest mana is 3 and it stacks 1, if the Titanic ally costs 8, you can you're gonna be able to play it earlier. But I guess it depends on how often, because it destroys itself once you play it. And then you're looking to either play them again. Maybe you're duplicating this, so you keep playing it over and over again for cheap. Like I said, 3 so far is the cheapest. Now we have 6, and then 6 is the Berserker Ursine. When you play a spell or skill, summon a Sigil of the Storm. That is nuts. It really makes me think about Akshan. And if my friend, he loves Akshan, he loves Volibear, if they have this landmark thing that pops up on the field, and as you're doing stuff, the landmarks tick down and stuff like that, that would be very interesting. Because that would be an actual deck, right? Because you have, like, Lucky Finds and things like that. I mean, he's turned 6, but it's still interesting. That's a very interesting thing to have, and he will infinitely, as long as you keep playing spells and skills, will keep discounting the hell out of a whatever the hell a Titanic unit is. Let's see if maybe they say it in here. They do not. All right. Next up, we have Ron the Magma Serpent, which is play, summon 3 offerings, which is not in this line. So yeah, that's fantastic. We don't know what an offering is. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's fantastic. But this thing doesn't have the Titanic thing on it. And the next thing is this bird, Herald of the Celestial Convergence, which really cool looking card. Play, activate other Daybreak and Nightfall effects, which is insane. That's a lot of things trigger ran, right? If you have a board full of stuff, holy crap. Does that bring Diana back? You know, because Diana, a bunch of things trigger. I mean, this is 8 costs. But it's not Titanic. Is Titanic? I'm assuming maybe Titanic is just a requirement. Maybe it's a requirement or something like that. Like if it 8 costs and above or something. But why not just do like with the bird? Like, oh, this is a bird. This is a Titanic bird. I guess that maybe it has too much synergy with Nico. Maybe Nico stops that. Also, it says if you use it for Daybreak, Overwhelm, and if you use it for Nightfall, Spell Shield, which means that if you play it for Nightfall while Ravuna's on, and you get both. You get an Overwhelm, Spell Shield, 5/8 for 8. Doesn't sound that great, and I didn't mean to rhyme that much, but yeah, that doesn't sound too crazy, but it is interesting. I think the Overwhelm and maybe some other effects could make it stronger, so it's a big hulking thing that goes through, I guess. Interesting to see, but maybe, I don't know. Is Titanic like the cost, or maybe... I'm assuming it's the cost, and I'm assuming ASOL or like any big unit or something like that, anything that's like maybe big cost, because these have to be Titanic, I would assume, right? Like, And also, it's weird that they're doing Freljord in Targon. I wonder if they'll make a champion that is not Bandle City that has 2. Is that what this is telling me? Or is it just they're just decided to show a couple Targon cards? Next up is Seismic Shard, and that is literally Malphite's Q, which he's Titanic. He's a big dude. He's a big cost card too, so maybe it's, I don't know, is it cost, attack, defense? What's going on? Seismic Shard, if you behold a Titanic unit, I cost 3 less. Deal 7 to a unit as well. That has nothing to do, it could be champion or follower. So if you have a Titanic unit, you can literally play this for 4. 4 mana, deal 7 is insane. That kills, I think, almost majority of champions, especially on turn 4, because it's just having it in the hand, right? It's stronger than, it's cheaper than, what is it, the Sunburst. Obviously it doesn't have the silence effect to it, but still, that kills a lot of stuff if it's not protected by Spell Shield. And it'd be really hard to like Pale Cascade or get it out of death range, right? 7 damage is a lot. But you need a Titanic unit in the hand, obviously. In the hand or on the field, doesn't matter, either or. Now let's see if, I know last time they had like a thing, maybe I'm gonna refresh this. Oh, there it is. There it is, 4 minutes ago. Talk to me. So units with 8 attack or health. Either or. Okay. Okay. Now, let's also pay attention to this, right? That would also mean buff cards, right? It doesn't say original attack. Well, that's kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh term, I guess, but it doesn't say original attack or health. So, let's say for example, okay? Let's say for example, I have the Seismic Shard, right, in my hand, and I don't have a thing that costs 8. That's why they both have 8 attack and this one has 8 defense, right? But let's just say I buff cards in my hand and then it reaches 8. Theoretically, Seismic Shard should go down to 4. It doesn't say whether or not it has to be like that. So let's do something rare. Let's have some fun. I'm gonna open Runeterra and we're gonna see all the cards that are now going to be Titanic. Interesting enough, they don't have a filter for attack and defense, which is kind of weird. I like Yu-Gi-Oh! You could basically do that. You can have like a attack or defense that would help you kind of like, I could do it by cost, but I can't do it by that. So let's just go down and I was trying my best to avoid having to edit a lot, but let's just go down and we'll see what is currently in the game. Obviously, they're gonna create more cards to assimilate with that. So with the sigil, every time they stack, that one big ass card is gonna be literally cost 1 less. And I'm assuming, like I said, it's going to be affected by chimes and any type of buffs on the field and in the hand. So there is some synergy with chimes. There's also synergy with cards just buffing themselves in general. But I'm assuming you want them to be in the hand so you get the, like, you can play it for cheap, right? That's kind of what the whole concept behind it is. I have not seen a card with a, obviously I'm in the lower, we're in the lower stuff, right? But I don't want to miss out on some cheap card that might do that, like Heimerdinger, right? Does any of these have 8? No, just the T-Hex, right? So there it is, that's the combo. Okay, I'm just kidding. And even if it's temporary, right? Temporary would work too. Like if it just has 8, then you abuse some Titanic stuff. Ooh, Vi, you know, like that's not really too much, but yeah, Vi leveled up or with enough buffs would then be cheaper. Depending on their board state, that might make a difference slightly, probably not. And some of these leveled up characters too, like a leveled up Aatrox, let's say if he died, that would work as well. Same thing with Darius, a leveled up Darius would then be cheap as well. And I completely forgot about that, looking for every other card. But I think I'm pretty sure that none of these other cards randomly gain like insane stats. Outside of, you know what, I should be keeping in mind, but I don't think you run the deck. Where is he? I think Azir, right? Like if he's leveled up, but I think leveled up super ascended for, no, he's a 6/6. I'll check the other ones. Let me, actually that's an easier way to do that. Not the ascended, I mean, at that point, yes, you're playing Titanic Ascended. Like, no, you're not doing that. Let's stop it. This one, okay, no, yeah, look, Xerath is a Titanic. He's a Titanic Ascended, all right? Look at that. And I see why they don't make it a keyword, because something that's Titanic can then lose being Titanic, right? So I'm assuming that that was the thought process behind that. I'm assuming Gnosis also has that as well. Oh yeah, Titanic Poros. You can go. You can go after buffing them to hell. You can go Titanic Poros, dude. What a beast! What an absolute beast! What do you when you do? Okay, level 3 Gnosis, Ascended Dog, Ascended Titanic Dog or Titanic Ascended Dog. You guys tell me in the comment section below. Now here we finally are in the depths, right? Viego also very easily can get to it too. As you can see, I'm just scrolling down thinking about it. So Malphite definitely in there. Galio, cheap Galio could be a game changer, right? Because Galio could come out on a turn that you're not really expecting him to come out on, making and you know what? A lot of these cards, for that same reason, really makes you think, right? Like, oh crap! Like now that they're cheaper, their curve is different, right? So literally playing that other card on 3. Now you playing Galio on 6, and if you have any other things that happen, he goes on 6. Actually, is that other card? Hold on. I just had a thought. This card is a 6 card. Okay, I wanted to make sure that this card is not a that you can get this out earlier, so then you can start going crazy. That card is what is the engine for the deck, though, 100%. Nautilus can come out earlier as well. Ornn, not at all, but nope. This guy, if you discard enough, yep, Trendemir is that, and of course Aurelian Soul. Now that's just the champions, just for the quickness of the champions. And then I'm gonna go through this and see which ones it's gonna be a nightmare. Most of the low-cost cards are not gonna be it, right? Most likely. But I'm just gonna do my due diligence. A fun mention, right? The scarred units might be a fun thing to play around, right? Because they get strong very quickly with pinging and stuff. And they're also inferior as well. Maybe that with the Scar Grounds might be a really crazy way to get a bunch of Titanic units. And then maybe there's a synergy with that. We only have a synergy currently with having one in the hand and playing it for cheap. But maybe there's also a type of buff where you have a bunch of Titanic units on the field. And I think the Scar things with the Scar Grounds might be the play. Technically, maybe. And I just saw the Watchful Idol. That might be a play too. All the tentacles. Can't forget about our good old friend Miss Wraith. That might be a thing. Maybe you start playing a bunch of them and then like you play it cheaper from the hand. But it's a 2 cost. It doesn't really fit the narrative of big monster cheap now narrative. Alright, as I'm scrolling down, I kind of wanted to mention some other things too. Like something like Mahita, buffing cards in the hand. Like, I'm not too sure if you really do, like I was just saying a couple seconds ago, I'm not sure if you're trying to buff other cards to then eat up those sigils. Because right now, we don't know is it just you're trying to play the card and discount it, or are you also trying to get a bunch of them on the field to get an effect as well? Like, I was just thinking about something like this, like grant an ally in hand +3/+3 Jeweled Protector, right? Or like stuff like a Hahiri or Herald of Magus, you know, something that's gonna start buffing certain type of cards, units. Are you trying to do that, or are you literally just trying to play the big cards, which as you can see I'm on cost 5, and do that? Like, what are you necessarily trying to do? I guess it's like the question. Even something like this, Mountain Sojourners, like we're buffing stuff on the field, and maybe we have a effect that if we have several Titanic units, we get to do this XYZ. Because what is the purpose of that other card, that 6 cost card that we showed, that you're discounting and you constantly keep summoning them? Are you just trying to get cheap big guys and they have an effect? I guess I don't know. Well, I'm still going. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally found the first one. Cost 5, Tarkaz the Tribalist. Boom. So far, the cheapest thing that I've seen that naturally has 8 costs. And we shall continue. So yeah, and he's also in Freljord already, so that kind of works. Wraithful Rider coming in number 2. Could be a 4 cost or even lower cost 8/3 Challenger. This card is nuts, actually, especially if you can find a way to give it a keyword like quick attack. Oh baby. Battering Ram. Okay, we got Noxus is in the building, baby, as we're going downwards. 6 cost the Battering Ram. Attack, grant me this. And with the other card, just saying the other one, right, is that you can have it that this thing is double its attack proc, giving it +8 on attack with that other card that we saw earlier. So, what was it, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Just saying, maybe, I mean, Freljord and Noxus has been a thing for a while, so, man, you never know. Hey, guess what? I talked about them earlier. Also, the Scar Mother has 8 defense, so maybe we can get her out earlier, get her stacking a little bit earlier as well. Just saying, it's starting to look, we're starting to see a little archetype coming up already, right? I have to bring this up because I said I was searching for all of them. Are you gonna play Wise Fry? No, you're not. But maybe, hey, maybe if it's a 4 cost, 5 cost, 3 cost card, you know, maybe it has more impact, right? And I just said with the, you know, you got the Freljord, and then maybe you go Bilgewater for some other reason. Deal 1 to all your allies, grant them 1 plus the Scar Grounds. Maybe that's something. Maybe that's something that's cooking here. I don't think so, but it could be something. Interesting. This is the first one that we come across, but one of the boats. Interesting to potentially be able to play a boat cheaper than its initial turn, right? Playing this one, you could technically play it on 6 or less. You know, Ionia, I've never seen Ionia Freljord, not that I can think of, not immediately in my head, but that could be interesting. You have a barrier tanky deck, kinda, sorta, I guess. I don't know. Leave me alone. Thrumming Swarm. When I'm summoned, create a copy of me in hand if you level the champion in this game. Infinite 8/4s, and potentially, if there's a way to constantly keep putting the sigils out, to at least that it's not as bad, right? But I'm assuming Volley doesn't actually, I don't even think Volley summons them at all. I think he's just supposed to, you're supposed to mana cheat him out, if I'm guessing right now. But interesting enough, maybe you're Thrumping Swarming, you're swarming the Thrump? Probably not. Honorable mentions, ladies and gentlemen. They Who Endure, who stacks and gets stronger in the hand. There are a couple cards like that, but I figured I'd wait until we got to They Who Endure, and also obviously Zulani as well, that you could play potentially earlier than 7, as long as she, what is this? This is +2, only 3 units? 3 powered up units died, and then you could play her a little bit earlier in that archetype. Could be a thing. Captain Farron, we're back in Noxus again. Back in the Noxuses. At this point, I'll just scroll down with you guys. You can come along me on the road, because we're in the big cost now. Grandfather Ramul in the building. If that stairs, pretty cool. I think that's awesome, especially Landmark Destruction if this deck gets a little bit too strong. Lord Eldrick, made Secret Leader. I wanted to make a Lord Eldrick based deck when I beat the Mage Seeker game, which I still haven't done that. Please leave me alone. But yeah, that would be very interesting, getting him out a little bit earlier. This is the thing. Oh, Nakakoboros. A little bit earlier. That's the whole thing. Oh, see, this is why this card exists, because now you can mana cheat the hell out of it, right? This is, I think, the first Shadow Isles card that we've seen so far that could do that, and now we have the second, which is Raza. I think Raza is actually pretty busted too, killing the 2 weakest enemies pretty much for free, and it's a skill synergizing with some other stuff. And I just feel like it just fell off because people don't feel like utilizing that at all. Sanctum Conserver, that's pretty good. I like that. Arsenal, maybe we're going Landmark. And oh, you know what? I mean, there is some synergy there. Not a huge synergy with Landmark Destruction, because the sigils get created and then you use them, right? So there could be some free landmarks, and then also with maybe some draw power to get the big units in the hand. Maybe we're gonna see Freljord, Bandle City. This I think would mostly be Eternal. I think the Eternal with like time bombs. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that is a thing. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. The Infinite Mind Splitter in the building. 8/8. 8 cost 8/8. Oh, Tiana Crown Guard. A rally out of nowhere. A rally out of nowhere, right? Could be pretty sick. Could be crazy out there. And then look, obviously not the Touch Raider itself, but doubling the power allies. Do you want all your cards to be strong? Like, oh, that was a card I forgot to say. Revna. I passed by Revna, and I definitely didn't want to necessarily do that, but yeah, Revna would be a thing too. Like buffing your deck, and then every card you're playing is Titanic, but like I said, there has to be a payoff for having a ton of Titanic units on the field in that case. Wrath of the Freljord, boom. Enemies with 3 or less, that seems like a definitely one of in this Titanic deck, Volibear deck, whatever. Wrath Colossus was crazy is because this card's going to become big. It's already cheap, and then when you equip it, it makes another version of it that's stronger, and then maybe you have this big army with the Wrath Colossus, right? Bright and Steel formation, that's good. Commando Ledro is being played over and over again, but it's cheaper. Karita, probably not. Seems like a weird include. Gorth being played cheaper, sounds nice. Catagrin, good, I like it. I was also gonna go back. I think Evolve is just +2/+2, right? I was gonna go look at all the sea creatures potentially, because maybe you trigger deep and then you do that. Early Atakin, and we already shown. It seems like the most synergy, especially at getting them out early and using them a bunch of times, does seem like it's gonna be Noxus. Freljord and Noxus have like the most ones that I think that I've seen so far. And they're okay now. Demacia is saying yo, but see, this is the late game bombers. Cynthia, Lady of the Clouds, getting played before turn 10 is insane. And this is where we're gonna get into the value train, right? Oh, okay, it's over. It's over. She Who Wonders, obviously. But this is where, at least where I would assume that they would have had some more bigger units, right, to get cheaped out. But I'm seeing like maybe you're going like this. Atticum, grant me power equal to the total power of allies with the Owa. But the problem is that he was a 10 cost and you were trying to cheese him out. Maybe now Freljord, maybe a little bit of ramp potentially. Or maybe there's enough cards that the sigils, or you just use them in tandem with each other. You're using a little bit of ramp for other cards, and then you have these bigger units, and then somehow maybe you recover or some way, shape, or form. But this looks like it's going to be a super interesting archetype, and it's funny that they went with the mana cheating archetype, which is like it's like people say like they kind of hate it, but like then they keep releasing cards that kind of are about cheesing out cards, and now you don't really understand. Like you're gonna see a bunch of sigils on the field, and they're gonna play a 2-drop, and then you're gonna play a 2-drop that happens to be an 8 cost. It's like, you know, like it's the power scaling is insane. What they could potentially drop on a turn, and then like I said, if you start introducing buffs, which I am not at the moment, you then start to get cards that like a Mirror Mage with like a slight buff, 1 chime hit or something like that. All of a sudden now Mirror Mage is now a Titanic unit, and that could be played a little bit cheaper on an earlier turn, in which you were not expecting. And this is a chimed unit, right? Sorry, it's in Vandal City where there are a lot of chimes, and that's it. So like I'm not going through that. Like I can also go through sea monsters, right? If we wanted to do that. Like some of these cards, because it's +3/+3, like the Shipwreck Order, and then this also would become a thing. Like there's a lot of little differences in there. I don't want to go through all the potentially buff cards, but yeah. What do you guys think about the whole Titanic thing? Do you guys think it's like crazy? Do you think that it's game breaking? I don't think it's game breaking. I think volley is obviously going to be a huge payoff. And how does that synergize with all the other draw cards that we're getting? Is it going to be even worth it? Are you trying to draw to get Titanics in the hand so that you draw into these big guys and then play them? Or because there also could be updrafted, so there's a lot of mana cheating going on. So literally you have a Titanic card that's reduced by the sigil. Also at the same time it was updrafted, so you're playing this big unit for very cheap. I think that's what the idea, or at least what we're looking at. Maybe Janna Volibear is going to be a thing, like a super cheap 4 cost 8 drop basically. Because you kept drawing and doing all this fun stuff. I'm very interested to see how this works out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I will try my best to comment to you guys. I'm gonna do my best to comment immediately. So that's gonna be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.